Hello everyone, I'm Cole from the Kingdom, and I'm joined here with Cole from the Kingdom. Hi, thank you so much for having me. Happy to have you. So why don't we start by telling everyone how you first discovered Dragon Age? Well, it really started with Mass Effect. My brothers played it, and this was back when I first was really getting into hardcore video games. I had a really hard time with the gameplay, so I didn't beat it until after Mass Effect 2 came out. Of course, now I have it down to a system, but back then it wasn't so easy. I loved the dialogue and the characters and the story, and that was all mind-blowing to me at the time. Still kind of is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Mass Effect really changed my life in a number of ways. Specifically, as it relates to Dragon Age, I remember my brother getting really excited because it was another BioWare game that they spent so long developing.
Mm-hmm.
We both tried it, neither of us could get used to the gameplay for that either. Just like with Mass Effect, I didn't beat it until after the second one came out. I really had to push myself through Origins just to get to 2, which had easier gameplay for what I was used to. Of course, now I have Origins down to a system and I really like it, but it was not easy. You know, that's exactly the same as my story as well. No way, that's awesome. So you mentioned characters and story in Mass Effect. Is that what hooked you on Dragon Age 2? Oh, absolutely. I think it was the sheer depth of the characters and world building that I hadn't really encountered before. But also, of course, the mystery element. I love mysteries, and Dragon Age had a lot of that. That's actually why I started making Dragon Age videos. I had so many ideas and theories, I had to get them out there. Yeah, that sounds familiar. So, when did you start your channel? Well, I started the Kingdom back in 2014, and back then, I don't think I had even really considered doing Dragon Age videos. The original plan was to cover Skyrim mod gameplay, and have a friend of mine cover Left 4 Dead 2 mods.
Mm-hmm.
We had planned to branch out, but that's where we were going to start. You see, I had actually had 2 channels before the Kingdom. The first one, we covered Halo 3 tricks and glitches. The reason for that was because I had just discovered Machinima, and I was so excited to do the same. Just to make any kind of video at all, we started doing tricks and glitches, which were so much fun, let me tell you. We were definitely a ripoff of CM Near at the time. I don't know how many viewers know that name, but that's totally what we were, except not as good. After that, and a lot of failed Machinima series, we started another channel just for our gameplay of different games. It did not have the same punch as the first one, so that died pretty quick. The Kingdom was named the Kingdom because I wanted it to be run by a group of us that did a variety of different things.
Mm-hmm.
I kept going on my own when I kind of fell out of touch with the others, and like I said, I had a lot of ideas for Dragon Age, and once I started making those videos, I found people really loved them. And I was not good at Let's Plays, but discussion videos? I found my niche, and it's been working out amazingly well so far. And I am so thankful for everyone who continues to watch and support me. That's really interesting. I'm sure our viewers would love to know what were the names of those 2 previous channels you had. Oh, there's no way in hell I'm answering that question. Well, alright then. Well, let's talk some more about Dragon Age. Do you have a favorite companion, maybe from each game? You know, that's a really hard question to answer because I love so many of them, and to me, they all serve different roles as companions. In Origins, I guess I'd say Alistair because I just think he becomes like a brother to me over the course of the game, unless I romance him, in which case we fall in love, of course. Wynne is definitely up there. I love her grandmotherly role and how she's filled with so much wisdom, even if she can be a bit judgmental at times. I love Liliana and my dog, Shepard, but I think Alistair is the one I always have by my side. In 2, it's probably Varric, just for him having so much to say, and he's a very down-to-earth character compared to everyone else, right? As for Inquisition, it's gotta be Cole. He was simply amazing. I have a really good story about how he affected me in real life, but I think I'll save that for an episode of A Moment with Cole, so I can really get it right. Well, what about romances? I know, like me, you're a very sappy guy. Well, that's true, I am. Well, in Origins, I like Liliana for males and Alistair for females. My default origin is a human noble, and I'll probably talk more about that in another headcanon video. For 2, none of them really stand out compared to Origins and Inquisition, but if I have to pick, I'd say a friendship romance with Fenris, where I always support the mages. Yes, it is totally possible. And Inquisition? It's gotta be Colin. Like you said, I'm a very sappy person, and I'm a sucker for a good love story. Solus is definitely up there for sheer impact, but the love story between Cullen and my Inquisitor is just so great. I agree. So, are there any other characters that really left an impact on you? Like side characters, villains, stuff like that? Ooh, well, Bethany from DA2, even though she's a companion. I have what I call a big brother complex despite being the youngest sibling in my family. The role Bethany serves in DA2, I think, is the best possible motivator for Hawke, right? And then there's Loghain. Great villain, great character. I'm currently working my way through the books, and I know he has a good motivation, but I still say there is no reason good enough to justify what he did over the course of Origins. And besides, if you make him a warden, you miss out on one of my favorite lines in video game history.
Daughters never grow up, Anora. They remain 6 years old with pigtails and skinned knees forever.
Like I said, I have a massive big brother complex, and this line really speaks to me. I know what you mean. So, how about choices? Like you said, Loghain is a big one. Are there any that really stand out to you? Well, I've mentioned in other videos how I really like the Architect. I think that's a really good one. Loghain is also great. I'd say making Cole more spirit or human is a good one. I guess those are the major ones for me. Of course, there are a bunch of good ones, but those are the ones that really stand out in my head. I get that. So, of course, you have a series to talk about the mysteries of Dragon Age, and you mentioned mysteries are one of the things that hooked you. Do you have a favorite mystery? I honestly think it's what lies beyond Thedas. I actually think that was my favorite video to make, even though it was really hard and came with a lot of headaches. Some of what they teased us with for what's beyond Thedas it gets my curiosity pumping, you know? I do. Well, how about within Thedas? Do you have a favorite group or culture or anything? Ooh, that's a good question. I do really like the Free Marches, particularly Starkhaven. I really like the Dalish and the Dwarves and stuff, but I don't think they really make my favorites. Honestly, Navarra stands out. I typically hate the desert and everything about the desert, and based on concept art, Navarra takes a lot of inspiration from ancient Egypt. However, I did really like Assassin's Creed Origins, and I like how unique Navarra is in Thedas with the way they treat the dead and the Mortalitasi and whatnot. So I'd have to say Starkhaven and Navarra. I see. So this kind of goes hand in hand with that, but are there any places you'd like to see in the future? Well, absolutely those two. More cities in the Free Marches would be great. I have an idea for how to handle that. That will probably get its own video. Saharan is a big one for me. I'm pretty confident we'll get that in the next game. Antiva would be really great. Really, I want to see all of Thedas, but I guess those are the ones I most want to see. I'm totally with you there. Well, besides places, is there anything in particular you're yearning for in the future? Combat gameplay that isn't a chore? Probably a narrative difficulty like they have in Mass Effect, and or a proper stealth system. Nothing too complicated, just not outright invisibility. And a deeper archery mechanic. I mean, the way they've handled it so far takes all the fun out of being an archer. At least for me. I guess more varied gameplay is what I'm looking for, but certainly not at the expense of character or story development. Oh, I agree. That would be tragic. So I guess this will be the last question. Are there any future plans for your channel? Oh, absolutely. I have so many projects I want to work on. People can expect more Mass Effect videos, and of course more Dragon Age. There's a variety of things I'm working on, and I don't want to give too much away just yet, but I'm very excited and honestly overwhelmed by how much I want to do. One thing I will say that I'm currently working on is getting some merchandise for people to buy. If anyone watching this has any ideas for ways I can improve the channel, I am always open to suggestions. Same goes for me. So once again, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for having me. If you guys are interested in Cole's channel, you're probably already here, so go ahead and click that subscribe button and leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you later. Bye.